for coming tonight. Obviously, you can be anywhere in the metaverse, but you've chose to be with us here tonight. So we truly appreciate that. But we are also live streaming. We are live streaming. So catch us live on Beneficial Games YouTube channel. And the show will be recorded there for future playback. So, episode 2, man. First of all, I'm extremely grateful and humbled by. I'm sorry. Do we need to move that camera, Jen? Is that
Oh
camera in your
yeah.
way?
Yes.
Ben, if you don't mind just moving camera 2 over a little bit. Okay, thank you. Appreciate you, sir. All right. First of all, man, I'm extremely humbled and grateful to be able to have the opportunity to do this show in the metaverse. This show started from a place for me to be able to connect with creators just to hear their stories. There are so many unique and interesting stories that come from our communities that a lot of people don't know about, as a lot of us just kind of skim the surface of popularity and people just don't know about us. So, this show is a platform for those people doing really impactful work in the metaverse to come and share their stories. The stage here, invite only stage. It doesn't mean that I don't respect anybody else's talent, but it's just a matter of timing and finding the right person who I feel is going to be creating the amount of impact that sometimes the community needs as I go and have these conversations with multiple people. So, with that said, when it comes to community, there are some people that really truly put in the work in here. And when we talk about the word community, sometimes it can be used in a misguided sense as a way to rally people. And then there are people who really sacrifice their time, their money, their energy, and their movement in order to make the community that we build in here better for everybody, not just for one person, but for the masses of people, oftentimes not getting credit for the work that they've put in and the energy that they've expended in the service of others. But this guest is extremely recognizable. If you don't know him by his look, you absolutely recognize him by his voice. I've known him for a few years now, and he's always been consistent with the work that he's put in, even struggling with anything that he has personal life, still finds the time to come and commit to the show. So without further ado, it is a pleasure to welcome to the stage.
Uh, all right. I don't need the seat. I never really much was a sit down. Happiness, sadness, depression, purpose. These are all that we share. Dreams, ideas, to thrive for a better future for not just ourselves, but those around us. Therefore, these are things we share in. When defining a community, it is defined by people with shared ideas and a common place. It is not defined by which reality, what house it governs, the people inside it, or the purpose behind it. A community can both be good and a community can be bad. It is a tool that a lot of us are not always prepared on how to use, but it is one that we are all for sure we need in our arsenal to grow anything with a greater purpose. My name is, well, John Mitchell, but I'm better known in the metaverse as Metavoice. And I didn't get this way because I popped on and said, hey, you're going to listen to me. I got this way because I kept talking about things that other people within the community had within shared ideas, common interests, and unique beliefs that we all strive to uphold. I have been here for quite a few years, maybe even 4. Some say an anniversary of 3, but I could swear it's been longer. And I've seen the development of community within this social experiment that we are all a part of. And it is a beautiful and horrific thing at the same time. It's like a rose blossomed from the spring, thrived from the summer, yet destroyed by the frosts of the winter. It is something beautiful, terrifying. And I speak of community. We all know that because ourselves, each one of us, we all have friends. We all have those that we call closer family that we have gained within the few years using this platform as the tool to do so. These relationships that we build are uniquely our own in ways that in reality could serve no purpose or ever exist. We use virtual reality to knock down the barriers and borders put up by others within our lives, within our reality that we must live, that is not within our own control. But in virtual reality, we're told to build our own future. We're told to pioneer our own way. Throughout history, we can see moments that humanity was at its lowest, and the only way it could ever survive through plagues, war, dissolution, poverty was to come together as a community, stand up and say, this is not the life we will live, even if it's the life we currently have. Now, the reason I stand up here isn't because I signed on to some contract months ago, years ago, and go, yeah, I'd love to be up here and talk to people. I'm up here for certain reasons. As I said, I've been here for a few years. And within those few years, I got on many stages just like this to talk to people just like you about what I'm doing now and hope to inspire others to do the same. And through those, while I had this headset on, I've lost friends, best friends, family members. My own mother died. And what did I do? I put on this headset. I got on a stage just like this, and I addressed a community just like you. Not to tell you of my sorrow, not to tell you of my pain, but to tell you of my firm belief that does not matter what one individual might be going through, but what truly matters is what we're all going through together. I oftentimes speak out. I'm oftentimes heard. My voice is quite loud. It's quite direct. Others say I never shut up, and trust me, I do. But one of the reasons that I don't shut up, you might not know, is I have a disability of my own. I have nerve damage in my hands, and I have trigeminal neuralgia in my face, which means it's more nerve damage. Yay, I won the lottery on that. And when I had gotten this in my face, and I got it in my mouth, and it hurt to talk, and it hurt not to talk, I had a realization that I could be quiet my whole life and just endure the pain and just suffer and just woe is me and stop my life and just be, hey, this is it now. Or I could take what I have learned in my own experiences and share them with others. And by every word I speak, be a testimony to the strength that each one of us have inside of us. I hurt at all times. While I'm standing on this stage, I am currently passing a kidney stone. But I am standing up on my 2 feet. I took my Aleve and my painkillers, and I said, you know what? I'm going to stand up here because there's someone in the audience that's going to hear this message today that has the greatest idea that's going to change the future. Because the future's not just video games and shooting each other up and PvP. It's not about bars and clubs and virtual stripper poles, though it can be fun. The future is about each and every one of you and how you spend your time in here and what utility you bring out of this. Virtual reality is not to replace reality. It is to benefit our realities. There are people I have met through the years who never leave their home, who never speak to another human being for years, whether they have anxiety, whether they can't leave due to a wheelchair or impairment, whether they can't go out because of elderly age, but this right here on your head, this shows that doesn't stop them. They're able to be here amongst every one of us and be valued as each one of us are, to the same level, to the same height, depending on what they want out of it. And in reality oftentimes hold us back by what we can physically, mentally, or emotionally handle. But in virtual reality, you build what you can handle. If it becomes too much, you take off the headset, you take a deep breath, and you know what? You put that headset back on because you have work to do. And that's what I told myself. I've made over 600 videos on social media showcasing many worlds that either all of you might have or people that you know have. I did that not for the profit, not to gain money and reach into your pockets. I did that because it was something that needed to be done. I did that because this community is worth seeing. We are all here very early. And in 5 and 10 years, when they start looking back at the files and the hashtags and the trends start popping up, you know what they're going to see in the virtual reality? They're going to see all of you. And when those videos pop up on people's feed, what do you want them to see? Do you want them seeing you shake it because you just got full body tracking and now you can get pop it, lock it, and get down low? Maybe. Or do they want to see you and hear you and learn something from you that you have to say? Is there something that you believe in? But maybe in reality, finances hold you back. People around you might have differences of opinions. Technology is just a little bit out of your grasp to use. That's okay. Because in community, you're not alone. It is not about the knowledge or experience of just one person, but the knowledge and experience of those that they surround themselves with. That's what community is. A community is a group of people that can get things done, not because they have nothing better to do, but because they believe that there is something better to do. And that's fact. That was just the introduction. That is something I just want to introduce to all of you. The idea that this is something more than what we're told it could just be. I've got notes in front of me. That way I can keep track of things. The definition of a community, the traditional definition, is a group of people living in the same place or having a particular characteristic in common. Do you know what the definition of a community in virtual reality is? It's very simple. A group of people living in the same space or having a particular characteristic in common. It's so close there. Because, like I said, it doesn't matter where it's housed. What matters what you within that house that you are in. When I was in here years ago, I seen a bunch of people that were floating beams with legs and morphed heads that barely had hair on them. And we were all floating around going, I wonder what this has become. I wonder what I can create. Imagine what can bring in here. Imagine the people. Imagine what we can do. And we were building something amazing together. And there's worlds out there, there's thousands of worlds out there that show just like artifacts in history that we dig up like archaeologists of the future. Here in virtual reality, we are finding lost examples of projects that communities before us started and ended. And a lot of them fell because of greed. A lot of times the greatest of ideas in life fall apart because people want more than what the purpose alone is. And they start diverting from the truth, and they start accepting the lies. And they're willing to attack whoever they need to make sure that their own personal agenda is followed. And that is how you break community. There's many examples of that. There are examples of communities today, like Thrive Pavilion. It's an elderly community that get together and try to make amazing things happen for people that thought their expiration date was long past. There's communities in here that are taking people with disabilities that can't even get out of their house to go to a museum, and they're teaching them about art and bringing images in here they've never seen. Because reality, the communities in reality are saying, well, those people are not worth the time to discover and explore and to teach. We don't have time for that. But in virtual reality, that doesn't matter. I can't tell how many fingers you have. I can't tell how many toes you have. That doesn't matter to me. What matters in a community is what you can bring. I'm not telling you to run a race. I'm not telling you to have a food eating contest. I'm not telling you to solve a mathematical equation that's impossible for the common person to understand. I'm telling you to reach out and find the people that matter to the purpose you're trying to drive and uplift them. Because it doesn't matter what's holding them back in reality. What matters is what will uplift them in this virtual reality. We have to stop using it for just shooting each other in the face. Because we're doing way more than just that. We might be going out there and be like, oh, I don't care about her. She is so-and-so. Oh my gosh, she's so dramatic. But the more that we spread that type of toxic thinking around, the more we break apart community at its core. Examples of VR communities. We know them. We live in them. Horizon Worlds is one of them. You have VR chat, right? They're out there partying it up, using all the best and greatest and latest technologies that's in the virtual realm, but what are they doing with it? VR chat is one of the biggest platforms in virtual reality. But yet, if you really look at it in a global standpoint, very minute, small percent of people even know that it exists. Yet it's so popular. Because it's only popular in the community that it caters to. But the people within that community have their own branched community with their own purposes and their own differences and their own goals. And you're starting to see that today. A lot of people, you see, VR chat was the troll platform. But there are a lot of great individuals over there that go, you know, we can actually make something of this. And they're working very hard on that. But there will always be those that try to troll the community and break them apart within, because that's the only thing they have. I'm here to tell you there's a purpose for them too. Now, here it is. A lot of times in reality, people won't listen to the good cause. We scroll past things that are positive often on our feeds. But if we see something that's dramatic, if we see something that people are teasing each other, pulling each other's legs and hair and just laughing and bullying someone, unfortunately, that's the feed on our social media that gets the most views. So trolls have their place. But the people that are doing the good, that the trolls are affecting the worst, I'm saying don't give up. It's just with a kidney stone, or those that are out there that have even worse disabilities. I'm not saying kidney stones are disabilities, but you know what I mean. Those people are not held back by what is limiting them in life. So why are you holding yourself back? What is holding you back in virtual life? So someone calls you a name or calls your project dumb or stupid. That happens for years. Every great project that ever succeeded for the best of humankind was called stupid and was put down. So I say use that energy. Use what they're doing to troll whatever it is you're doing to put views on it. And that's why I went out to social media. And people are always like, oh, he's AI, he's fake, that's not his voice. I was made fun of, bullied, ridiculed. I would say, why are you taking this so serious, Metavoice? It's a game. I can guarantee you as I look out there that each one of you think of some type of aspect of this is not a game. This is as real to you, if not more real, than the years you have spent off of this headset. It's addicting. It's something that we don't want to let go of. And when we do, we feel the drawbacks off of it. We feel like we're empty. Something's missing. And then we put it back on and we get back into it. And even if it's the drama, even if it's the negativity, we soak it in. How do we use that? Well, I tell you, I was one of the biggest addicted on this. I was addicted to the possibilities, the outcomes, the people. I was addicted to the life-changing events and seeing the experiences through others people's eyes. I lost my reality. I lost my reality because I was trying to replace it with the virtual one. And that's something about community and virtual reality that I also want to talk about. Community can become addictive. We know this because communities out in reality be a fantasy football league, bingo community, right? They seem harmless, but before you know it, you're in debt. You're going drinking out with the buddies. You get in car crashes. You drive wild. There's always something that can come off of this, right? It's not like a knitting community and then the old ladies just go around and start stabbing people with knitting needles, right? That could happen. But that's the thing is that becomes an addiction after a while. It's no longer about what is the best football league, what is the best, place to hang out in. It's about just being there, being a part of that crowd, being part of the cool people, being a part of the people that you've placed yourself with because that made you feel better. But then you're starting to realize this is taking a toll on your life, your marriage, your finances, your career, your own mental stability. And this headset is no different. We love the communities we're making in here. We love the friends we're making in here. But we also feel the pain. The pain is as real as it is in real life. Just the same as the joys are. Going back, like I said, VR chat is one of the spaces. And it is thriving, and there's things you can do in it, and we should definitely utilize as a tool. Another one that we're familiar with, AltSpace. AltSpace was known as a haven for so many creators. It was a place that was taken care of, and it had a strong community doing beautiful things. It took care of so many of the trolls. It took care of itself. It was what represented as a true virtual community that thrived. And the greatest destruction to ever happen to it was the people that was hosting the server kind of gave up and shut it down. How can someone just make that choice to affect so many people's lives and hard work? And it scared us. That scared so many of us. We've seen that in all different platforms within multiple communities, and we said that could happen to us. I remember the fear. Being Horizon saying they can get it down. What does it even matter? Why should we even try? And then everyone is out for themselves. Because their community failed. Ours will too. They'll just pull the plug, shut down the program. But that's because we think very small, unfortunately. We think about how this universe is that we are now all a part of. And we forget how truly small it really is. Why are we not broadening this community to reality? Why are we still running from reality at this point? Years into the making of VR community, the projects that we're putting together, I know we're like, oh well, we're putting these projects together, and like for instance, being shown to reality and real life, and yeah, but there's other clubs out there. There's other communities that's been around for years. How are we not bringing thousands of people into what our causes? Are we scared? Are we afraid to reach out? Are they going to reject us? So they reject us. Find a new way to get to them. Find a new way to reach to them. If you come in here to escape reality, that's fine, because that's also part of community. Community building. Without the numbers, there isn't much of a community. It's just 5 people hanging out in a basement going, wouldn't it be funny if we did this? And nothing really gets done. Do. I'm on to section 2 now. Isn't that great? We're making it. There's 4 sections here. We're getting through it. They gave me an hour. I had to make it through it. Educational benefits and the virtual field trips. I want to talk about that a little bit. So, in community building, it's not just about the structure of it, it's the utility. What is the utility of a community? And I thought about giving you examples of this. We find businesses. There are communities in here that support businesses. There's a city of Adamov. Obviously, we see them. We see others that are trying to outreach and bring business from outside, inside, outside. We're seeing a new form of businesses that was never been created, virtual businesses that are to start right here from the ground up. And that's exciting. But what are we teaching people? We can teach them about business. Sure, we get more people that are interested about business. But what about those that are looking to use this for other purposes? What brings to my mind is the Magic School Bus. How many people out there are familiar with that? Right? Growing up, we see it and we go, wow, wouldn't that be amazing? That would be magical. If we could just jump into a bus and go down a river of blood, or in a apple pie or something like that, and see what's inside of it, go into the human body, go into a flower, have a perspective we could never get in true reality. Yet there's so little of that here within the platform, within the communities. Why? Oftentimes it's because it's not profitable. How are you supposed to profit on a world that's just there for education? There's a lot of worlds out there that try to educate, but they fail and break apart halfway through because they're not getting the traffic, because it's not a game that goes pew pew. But that's what I'm talking about. One of the things about community, it's not about always the traffic and the numbers of the now, but it's what the outcome will become. Community is not just about making yourself feel good at the now. It's about building something stronger so that later on, when the time is ready for ideas to blast off to Mars, it's not going to just sink into the earth because it didn't have a steady platform to launch off of. I'm not doing this here for just all of you. I'm doing this here for those that might see it after all of you. We got to stop thinking we are the special ones that are gonna, profit and make the most out of what is now. Otherwise, we will strangle what we have and suffocate it. We need to think about what can we store in our toolbox for the future, so that when there are 8,000 people on the platform, when there are 100,000 people utilizing what you have built, now you are ready for it. One thing I asked people in the community through the transition was, we all begged for TriMesh and new tools, but how many of us was really ready for it? How many of us prepped for it? It goes the same when it is community and VR. How many of us are prepping to build up that community stronger so that when more people come in, it doesn't become a mess to the point where, like, oh my gosh, this was actually just a hobby? Because it gets like that. You start getting more people and it starts going nuts and you can't keep track of it. Before you know it, it falls apart in your hands, and everything that you've worked for years seems like it was over in an instant. Because we kept thinking about the now and not the then. And I'm telling you, the then is coming. Building houses and building architect or building a theme park, that's nice. But what does it do? What are we doing? If you look at yourself and what you're doing, the projects you have, and you say it cannot benefit the people in the next 10 years, you need to rethink your structure. Because we're not here to just build for ourselves. We're here to build a legacy that others will be able to remember. Do you just want to be one of the mom and pop shops that opened up in the 50s and then just dissipated in the 70s? Or do you want to be Coca-Cola and Disney and own it all in the end? Because I don't know about you, I want to make sure that what I'm doing today makes a difference for tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
And you can't do that without community. That's something I learned. For years, I tried to do so much on my own. And I was spread thin to the point I broke. I had nothing left. Burnout is real. If you try to be your own community, you will fall. You need people. But it's so much easier said than done, especially when people are willing to stab you in the back because they don't understand the purpose that you're trying to accomplish. They just say they do. Excuse me, I dropped my phone with my notes on it. I got to pick it up. We can cut that out and edit. Probably not. They'll keep it in. He's laughing. He's like, we're not editing that out. Community values. Potential for social isolation and reduced face-to-face interaction. Like I said earlier, I lost my aunt, my best friend. I remember them calling me up, and I looked at that number, and I said, you know what? I have time. I'll call them later. And then I didn't know that call was to tell me, hey, I have stage 4 cancer. I only have a few weeks to live. By the time I called him back, his daughter picked up and told me his funeral was a week ago. I didn't know that. I would have if I would have picked up that phone, and that reality check was as important to me as the virtual reality check that I've checked myself into. I missed that. My mom, when I got into this platform years ago, I wanted to get up on stage and show my mom that I could still do it because I was years out of practice. And she rooted for me the whole way. She was my biggest cheerleader. She died about 2 months ago of stage 4 cancer. I didn't see her for the last 2 weeks because I was building up Comco Theater. So I missed out on my own mom and her final moments because I was here. That's not good, people. Nothing is worth sacrificing your entire self and those that you love. Nothing is worth that on your own personal journey. But you know what? If you do this alone, that's what you have to look forward to. If you do this alone, what you have to look forward to is the sacrifices in your own life that you'll never get back. And some people might be willing to take that. Some people might be willing to accept that. But I'm telling you, it's not worth it. That's why I speak of community like I do. Because one of the great things about it, about building your own community up, is when sacrifices happen, you can pick up that phone and you can talk to your best friend before they die. Because you know you have someone else within your community to take care of the situation, the problem at hand. think about your future. Think about the future of others that you're currently affecting. Model that you are, and the testimonies you will display later on, the same as I am on this stage, telling all of you about my mistakes, how I messed up, how I should have taken this off, how I should have focused on my family, how I should have focused on career, but I didn't because I thought I could do it alone. I finally got around to creating a community of my own, and I became stronger. I became more heard. I became more confident. And I realized that I wasn't only doing it for myself anymore. I did it because of the people that it was affecting, the confidence it was instilling in them, the changes it was making, the riptides that it had had, the butterfly effect that when it batted its wings, it changed someone else's life because of a simple sentence or word or testimony. That's something I've already gone through. So hear my words that I have already sacrificed in this virtual realm for. Take care of yourself. Take care of your purpose. Take care of your community. Because otherwise, in a blink of a moment, it will all disappear. You'll take off this headset and you'll still be stuck in the same room you were in when you put it on. And I'm telling you, those outside problems, they don't go away. You need an army to support you and what you're here to do. You need people that have your back, that can fill in the weaknesses as you boost their strengths. Each and every one of you in here are a leader in their own right. You have your own experiences. You have your own sacrifices. You have your own lessons. Each. Instill your wisdom. Build that confidence and build your community. Because if you don't, all of this that we care for will die. Someone somewhere will unplug it. And what will you be left with? Alt space community didn't die just because they unplugged. They survived and evolved. And they're here with us every single day to teach us that it is not the end. It is only the beginning. We remember that of which we lost, not to burden us of sadness and despair, but to strengthen us with the courage to keep going on, not just for ourselves, but for others that cannot. We have seen people in these platforms in virtual reality community that just couldn't do it anymore. They couldn't take it. They had to leave. And we know people in VR community that left without their own choice. We lost someone not too long ago that was a pillar within our own community. And we've lost many before them. How many more must we lose before we realize how important this is? How many people in your own life in reality must you lose to realize how important you are? How many people does it take to sacrifice, to show you that you must show others the strength that you have? Because all they need is a role model to see that they can do it. And right now, in VR community, we have the moment to share that, to be historic, to pioneer. Not because it's fun, but because we have to. Because we need to. Because if we don't, it will be for nothing. And there's no escaping that. Take care of yourself and take care of those you love. But if you're in here to get something done, do it. Stop waiting for someone else to do it for you because they're not going to. You were the one that was meant to do it from the beginning. Don't be scared. Because many of us in your community, we have your back. I wanted to leave you with this. If there's one thing I can leave you with, is this mission. This next year, I don't want you just build things together with other people and share assets and tools. Maybe share an idea or two. I want you to build something that you know will make a difference. Just one thing that wasn't for the greed of thy pocket, but for the greed of thy knowledge, for the sanctity of the future. Make a difference with one single world you're building. Because there are others out there that are going to build 1,000 games. They're going to saturate that of which we are building. So let's saturate them with knowledge, intellect, wisdom, experience. Let's share what we have to testify and create a platform that isn't just for those that are currently on it, but for the community that is going to come. Thank you, everyone. I'm Metavoice. Remember to like, so not only you can inspire, but your friends can too. Oh, you're muted, Meta Queen.
Like a true man. That was powerful. My goodness.
Thank you.
First of all, condolences on your losses. I know health issues, so but we appreciate your passion. You know, it's one thing I've always said about entrepreneurship, about brand building, about community building, is it's really easy to give up when it gets difficult. So
Yes.
your purpose has to be so much bigger than that you may have to go through, because you do carry the burden of the people, as people don't always see the amazing amount of energy and work that it takes to build these adults. So let me ask you, for our audience, what is the one thing drives your purpose, other than taking care of the community? Because you know that from you, but innately inside, what is the one thing that's going for your purpose?
Me.
Honestly, you know, I've seen a lot of death in my life. I have. I've had a lot of people around me that had passed away. I've seen people pass away right in front of me. I've lived a rough life, medically. And what I learned from that is, as I said earlier, it's very true. We must live not for ourselves, but for those that cannot. And in this platform, I see a lot of people that stopped living a very long time ago, and I relate to that. I did myself for a long time. But I seen them start living the moment they found a new purpose in here. And honestly, that inspires me, because I have my own problems, my own lacking confidence, and my own inabilities to do things. And then I see people that have those same problems or worse problems that are going on affecting their life, and they don't let that hold them back. And that inspires me to just keep going, because obviously if it's making that much of a difference in a person's life, even a single person at a time, that's going to have so much of a greater impact and effect
Yeah,
when that dominoes later on. Because those people will take what they have learned and they will affect other people. And honestly, that if a legacy isn't to get people to remember you for the greatness that you could deliver, then what the heck is a legacy? It doesn't, you don't have to die for the legacy to be born. You can birth the legacy in each individual person that you impact. You can change lives. And in reality, you can't do that as much. You're held back. You're put in a mold. You're told you can't because of who you were born to become and what life you were born into. But in here, it doesn't matter what belly button you have. It matters what you can do for them. And that is so uplifting. It really helps me every day. Does that help answer
Amazing.
your question?
It does, absolutely. You know,
Great.
there's one thing I focused on this year, and I've called it the ripple effect because
Hmm.
w- thinking of throwing a stone into a river or a body of water and how those ripples uh, just expand that you never
Yeah.
quite see the end of it. So I always say when you're creating an impact, you don't understand what those ripple effects can do. If the stone is big enough, it can cause a tsunami and wash people away, right? But you just don't know the impact you have sometimes because you just aren't surrounded by everybody all the time, right? The things
Hmm.
that we create, and I love the point that you made, the thing that we're leaving behind a legacy. So 20 years from now, when people come in this place and they start to see what happened in the beginning of VR, like what are they going to see from us? What do we leave
Correct.
behind? Again, listen, I'm no stranger to poles and nightclubs and all those types of things in my
Oh, I've
younger years.
performed many
Uh,
of.
but if that's something that you want your legacy to be, understand that you're creating that now. Because wise man
Yes.
says that you'll plant the seeds for trees that you'll never have the privilege of taking the shade from, and that is
Correct.
kind of the legacy that we're leaving behind. So listen, we're going to open it up to the audience. If anybody has any questions for Metavoice, please come closer to the stage. The world is set to nearby, so we can't hear very well. But if you do have any questions, please come forward to the stage and ask him anything you might be curious about, or pick his brain, or just anything.
Well,
Trouble.
Trouble didn't have to go too close. I could hear him from his seat yelling.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, wow. I am beyond proud of you. Like beyond proud. I don't even want to get emotional because we be talking, but wow. But tell me a little bit more about the Comco. Hey, I got ask questions. Tell me about
Yeah,
the
so
Comco.
the Comco stands for Community Collaboration. I started it about a year ago, and its project was to find like-minded individuals to build a community, support the community. Through only community cooperation are we able to truly get so much more done. And what we are doing with it, and what we're currently doing with it, is we got a lot of projects with actors, plays, and theatrics that we put on. But it's one way to draw in the community to entertain and then find the people out there that are doing the missions to then showcase and spotlight. It is a gateway to not a negative drug, but a beautiful drug that is the community and helping others. Because honestly, you can get the same endorphins from doing good that you can do doing a lot of bad. And that's what the Comco Theater is there to chase, is the good we can do in the community together. We don't make money. We're not a profit-driven company. We take donations. Okay, yeah, we don't take money yet. Okay, but that's not. It's not the full purpose of it. It's not to take money. It is to do great things and then pay people eventually, because my CFO tells me we'll go bankrupt if it's just my ideas the whole time. So, but yeah, that's the Comco Theater. Look us up, comcotheater.com. Yes, Gin Smash, you're muted.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well. How are you
My
doing?
my condolences for your mom, and I know
Thank you.
we talked a lot about your mom, and I made sure I'm really really sad for that. I'm really really. But I am so inspired by your story, and it was very powerful, and I hope people out there that are streaming can see this, because I feel the same way you do, and I'm glad you're here. Glad to know you. That's it.
Thank you, Gin
Bye.
Smash.
Go to eat my
And if you
crackers.
didn't know, Gin Smash is one of those pillars in the community I talked about that has overcome great struggles in order to accomplish great things with many people. Hi, Blue to Key, you're muted, but welcome.
I think he's mobile.
You have to unmute yourself. There you go.
We still can't hear you, Blue.
I seen his mobile avatar shake its head in disappointment. That was fun.
Yes. Well, while you're on mobile, you'll feel free to dance for us until you figure that out. So, any other questions for Metavoice? Boss
You're
Leo,
muted as
also on
well,
mute.
Boss Leo. Everyone's
Seems to be a
muted. I just
common
want to let you know
occurrence
that.
today. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, great audience, great audience. You're still
Is
on
this
mute.
where we
There
come?
you go.
Okay, this where we come up next questions. I'm
Yes.
late, but super
I
late.
can restart.
I love that.
Just kidding.
Yeah. 1 second, Ajiri. But I definitely want to say, Metavoice, I am so proud of you, and I love everything that you're doing within this community. To see you grow as a marketing consultant, voice actor, to being a founder of Comco Theater and doing the things you have. You are an inspiring person, and I love watching your journey. And it just continues to motivate me to continue to move in this space. And you bring the definition to what it means to be a community builder here. And I want to make sure, even though I'm late here, to just make sure that you have your flowers, and I
Thank you.
continue to see you as the voice of community. So congratulations on all the things you have done. I know the hard work you put into it, the love that you get a community, and just what you can do for us. And I'm looking forward to what you do in 2025.
Thank you, Boss Leo. You are such a diamond. Boss Leo, everyone, the true diamond of resilience. I tell you. Although I got to ask Boss Leo, and I kid, I know her very well, but you didn't write that with ChatGPT's help by any chance, did you?
Oh my goodness, I did not.
Not
Not this time. Not this time.
Not this time. All right.
Not this time.
Thank you, Boss. I appreciate it.
Yeah, one thing I want to say, man, is obviously, Voice. We've done some stuff together in the past. We've known
Mhm.
each other for a while. People don't understand the resilience that this guy has. When he first came into the space, it almost seemed like a shtick, and I don't say that in a disrespectful way.
You're fine.
But you were an anomaly. You were unlike anything we had seen or met or heard before coming into the space. But you were always consistently in that moment, right? So I remember there was a lot of bullying. There was a lot of, oh, Harry comes again. We've all, listen, when you make an impact, we've all been through that. Like, every room is impactful, so that everybody that's surrounding you might not always be a supporter, right? We've learned to live with that, but we haven't let us stop that in our journeys. But I tell you, I've understood your frustration. I've felt the pain points that you've been going through as I've watched, sometimes directly in front of you or silently behind you. But like I said, man, the community and the resilience and the time and energy that it took to foster that is absolutely admirable. So that's a lesson all in itself for anybody that feels like they're not getting traction. You know what? You are, right? The wheels are still spinning. Sometimes the surface might just be a little bit more slippery than you expected. But eventually, keep going, keep motivating, keep finding what that purpose is and leaning into it without the noise and distractions of what anybody else tries to put you in. That does not exist. I think this world and this experience that we're in now proves that fully. So just kudos to you, man. Just truly
Thank you.
inspiring. Blew the
Thank
key.
you.
All right. He done
Yeah.
left the mobile and came back in. All right.
Hey, man, how y'all doing?
Good, Blue.
Metavoice, let me tell you something, man. I consider you a warrior. Okay, I consider you a prize fighter, man. When you get hit and you fall down, man, you get right back up on that last call, man, and you jump in there because you've always been someone in the community, man, that we looked up to. That, man, we should be doing a roadmap because you've already given us the way to go, bro. I really appreciate everything you've all done, man. I mean, talking about Lolly D, talking about Soapstone. I mean, the things that you have done, this a lot of people don't realize. They got to get to it, man, because you're there, man. You are a big part of this community, man. And I've had phone conversations with you. You were the first person that ever came to me and said, hey, Blue, I'll do a promo for your museum. I'll do a promo for your museum. You ain't got to give me nothing, man. Hey, man, it's for the community. And that's what it's all about, man. And that type of attitude and that type of submission to what we're really trying to do, man, is what all of us really need, man. So you're really just planting seeds in all of us, man. And I'm telling you, I'm watering my plant, bro. I'm watering my bad boy because you know what's going on with us. We got to get there. We're doing it. And I appreciate everybody, man. All of us as a community together, man.
Blue tees. To Christmas is coming, so make sure you support his business with his Metaverse t-shirts.
Yeah.
Shihan,
I just felt like I should get up and say something.
I was going to call you if you didn't, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Metavoice, you're my bro, man. That was incredibly inspirational. Like Trouble said, we're all incredibly proud of you, and I know I for one am one of those people that have grown just from knowing you. So all I really have to say is thank you. Thank you for all of
course.
us.
Thank
Can't
you.
wait to grow
It's been
more.
a pleasure. Thank you, Waffle Man. You know, and I gotta say something. Waffle Man, Shihan. Sorry, he's known as Waffle Man in other places. But
Waffle Man, yes.
Shihan is one of those that I looked at earlier myself into. You know, as I was bullied quite a bit in the beginning. People thought I was a shtick. They didn't know, and like the rest. Shihan was one of the I seen that was just the same. Everyone didn't know where it was mold. He had so much, but it was like to exist. It was wonderful. and so everyone just cast him to the side. And so I brought him on because I seen how much utility and how much talent and how much strength he truly held. Because I did nothing but what you already had. It was you that picked up the tools and made the decision to use them, just like everyone else here. Sometimes all it takes is being, hey, you have a beautiful heart. You are a very giving person. Thank you so much for that and continue to do so. Lift yourself up. Have the confidence into who you know you are. Because when you do, that is when you blossom to become the truest potential and purpose that you can be.
Yeah.
So that is one of those examples of that I knew how much talent he truly had and could bring. And he is bringing it for the community. Shihan will be up on this stage one day and he'll make the same speech that I make. You watch. So thank you. And that's all I wanted to say about Shihan.
Awesome. Well, listen, this moment, the things that we're feeling right now, the energy, the emotion, because I did get a little choked up and emotional sitting in the seat, which I always seem to do in this world for some reason. I need to stop building it with onions. This is really what the show is all about, right? It's about highlighting the amazing and impactful people in the metaverse. Every one of us has an amazing story to tell. I promise you, even if you think you don't, we are the way we are for a purpose and for a reason, and every single one of us can create an impact, even if it's only to one person, which honestly, that's how it should start, right? We should be impacting hopefully one person's life at a time and growing this amazing organic community of people who understand and realize their own power, maybe because of somebody else, maybe because of the things that they've done. Any which way you find that is necessary. So you do have a platform on here. You touched about it briefly. So tell us a little bit about where we can find you and what you have planned for the immediate future.
Yeah. So mainly you can find me at the Comco Theater or the Comco Theater Museum of Fine Arts, which is being built for those that aren't able to get to a lot of the our art museums and finally see up close.
It's amazing. We
stuff.
have a door here for anybody that wants to check it out. It's an amazing project. Can't wait to see the finish. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that.
You're fine. You're fine. It takes place at Heinz Hall, which is a real museum in London, England. So definitely go and check that out. It's 3 stories. But we also have the Comco Theater, which we put on plays and productions. We recently put on A Heart Tells a Tale, which is an inspiration of The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. We filled up all 3 nights, all 3 days, which was amazing. And we have more plays coming out, like Mystifying Murder at Meta Mansion. That is going to be happening in January. And some Trimesh plays that are going to be happening next year as well. You can find us at comcotheater.com. You can find me at Metavoice or John Mitchell on Instagram, on YouTube. We're at Comco Theater or Comco on YouTube. And if you would like to really get involved with this and you have Discord, find us at Comco Theater on Discord. which we do a ton of projects for. I also, as you mentioned, I do work at the Soapstone. You can find me there. I have been made the community lead of the Soapstone, as well as lead of international and community ambassadors. So I'm trying to make myself even more present and have more tools to be able to utilize to showcase all of you through tools that other people have. That's as far as I'm going with that. And I'm able to help you a little bit more by working a little bit harder. So you can find me in many of those areas. I really thank you. This has been a pleasure, and I am humbled by this experience. I thank you so much, MetaClean.
Thank you, Metavoice, and thank you for being here. Listen, can we get some confetti for Metavoice again? This is a perfect example, man.
Group picture.
Just forward,
We will.
forward movement, right? That's all that matters. Don't worry about the obstacles. Don't worry about what happened yesterday. We can no longer change the past. It doesn't matter anymore. Learn from it, move forward, keep moving forward. And this is coming from somebody that was ready to give up, right? And he chose not to. He chose to keep going forward. So you see the board, you know what this world is about. What we do in here has to be able to create, love, inspire, and add value, and of course make an impact in somebody's life. So
Yes.
join us next week for our next amazing guest. It's somebody that you might not expect, and I've been extremely happy and humbled to have you all in the building. And good night, everybody. We're going to take a group picture, so come to the stage. Thank you, Beneficial. Thank you, Metavoice. Thank you for everybody that took the time to come and spend with us today. Appreciate y'all.
All right. Now we're gonna make the stage unblocked so we can get up here and
Yes,
take a
I'm
picture. I
gonna-
think. Yeah.
I'm going to run and do that real quick.
Please don't all attack me at once.
We're
I'm
definitely going to
fragile.
attack you at once.
I know. I
Where are
can
the
see
bricks?
it. The angry
Who
faces.
brought the bricks?
Who brought the bricks?
Yes.
Great job.
I think
man.
we're still being streamed, so be careful on your humor.
Oh, shit.
It
Mainly
doesn't matter.
because-
You're dead.
You're being attacked by zombies.
It won't let me.
Oh, with him watching The Walking Dead recently, that's
You know,
very
hey,
apropos.
at least I'm going out by the people that I love, the community. So take me.
I don't think you're gonna love me when I rip your arms off.
No, you're a big man. That would hurt.
I didn't bring my hot sauce, damn it. I didn't bring my hot
I gotta hear
sauce.
first.
Oh, this is a great idea. That's really cool.
I know. We
What the
can't
hell? That
steal
was
it.
actually
What
a
is
really
this,
good idea.
Horizon?
Yes,
We're definitely stealing this.
Please utilize the idea. It is a really simple way for you not to pull out your camera. Just,
I love
just
how where
do
the
it this
camera
way.
button is.
She
That
had.
is a
She. Why are
perfect-
you not dressed up?
I am.
He's in his waffle outfit.
This is my finest duds.
He's on
It
brand.
honestly is.
Everybody say E.
Do it one more time.
I ain't lose some weight. This suit not fitting the same.
One more.
And what's inside my head is in the way.
Ay.
Y'all silly. All right, we're
You
good.
flash
All
any
right,
more
thank you so
times,
much,
I'm gonna have a
everybody.
meta stroke.
All right, that's enough.
All right, those are great pictures. Great pictures. You want my good side? There it is. That's a. Oh, okay. Yeah, wonderful. All right. You can sell that on OnlyFans. Just one.
Fan.
You already have a page up. You just don't know. I make money off of you all the time.
At least someone does. Meta makes money off of me. They make us probably a
There you go.
crap ton. I was like,
Hey, show we got some more of those ankle pictures.
Avatar feet pick.
Tech, appreciate you coming out.
Great job, Metavoice. Great job.
Thank you.
Killer
Great
Frost.
job.
Appreciate you coming out.
Appreciate it. Thank you all for coming out here. This has been
Yes.
great. I'm so glad that you all showed up to
Hey.
support. Thank you so much,
Yes,
Boss
we
Leader.
still need to get up and talk. I know we missed